We're good. So this will be 20. Yeah, I just hit my knee. My knee keeps getting in the way. I'm ready whenever you are. Jimmy's back. Let's go. Let's roll.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, November 14th, 2017 regular caucus meeting for the City of Brook Park. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Scott?
Here.
Bergio?
Here.
Salvatore?
Here.
Troyer?
Here.
Powers? Here. McDonald?
Here.
Mancini?
Here.
Everyone, please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America.
Thank you. We'll move to item number 3 on the agenda, which is approval of minutes of the preceding meetings. We have one item. It's a regular caucus meeting that was held on October 24th, 2017.
Motion to approve is presented.
Support.
There's been a motion to approve as presented. Is there any discussion, corrections? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Bergio?
Yes.
Mancini?
Yes.
McDonald?
Yes.
Powers? Yes. Troyer?
Yes.
Salvatore?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay, the meeting minutes for October 24th, 2017 have been approved. That completes items under number 3. We have no items under discussion, so we'll move to item number 5, which is the Finance Committee Chairwoman McDonald.
Thank you. Tonight I have 3 things up for discussion. The first was a ordinance that was placed into committee of May 5th of 15. So I am proposing that we have this up for discussion. Go ahead, sorry. Yes.
I'm first? Okay. Thank you, Madam Chairman. As one of the co-sponsors of this legislation back in 2015, at the time we were looking of ways to downsize city council, and I still believe that we should continue to find a way to downsize city council, change the makeup, because there's other options that are out there that have been discussed. I'm not sure that this is the best, but I'm sure it's an option. It's a starting point, but because we didn't make the deadline last year in order to put it on the ballot, I would recommend that we just read this in committee and start fresh with some new ideas and some new thoughts on how we can downsize, and we have all year to do it and put it on the ballot next year to be prepared for the next election term. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councilman Mancini.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. On this, I'll concur with my colleague, Mr. Salvatore. It's something that should be heavily discussed. Obviously, we had a lot on our plate this year and never got to things like this, but I think that, I'd definitely like to see what the public says on this too. Whether they want to go this way with a council or this way. I think that's very important to hear from the public also. So this time will give us the time, at least we're getting it out now, to get some type of feedback. But that's all I had, Madam Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Under Section 2, it says, Article 4, Section 4.01, that would be 6 members of council, 5 elected at large, 1 of whom would be president of council. I would like to see that changed to 4 council people, 1 for each ward, with the council president being the 5th member, and that he would be the tiebreaker, just as he is now, the tie-breaking vote in case of a tie. This would eliminate more people, but it also would give the ward councilman more access to his ward people. and without having to run for the entire city for, just to represent one ward is much more effective than having 4 people that are to represent the entire city. Thank you, Mrs. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Go ahead, Mr. Scott.
Yeah, thank you. I was on 2 charter review commissions, the past 2 charter review commissions, and both times we did recommend that council look into the reduction of council. We first charter review commission had a different number than what the second charter review commission had. So that's something that has been discussed, and believe it or not, like I said, for the past 2 charter review commissions, we have talked about reducing council. Is it something that should be done? I do believe with the reduction in population, we're down 18,800 people or whatever. Not, you know, this council was set up for 33 to 36,000 people. Is it something that should be looked at? Oh yeah, I totally think we should. And we do have a new charter review commission coming up, and maybe, you know, let's not bury it. Let's leave it, you know, so that there can be some tinkering with it. So. I think maybe we'll just put it back in committee and leave it in committee. That's my take.
Thank you. And go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Well, I do feel that, I've always felt that we need to downsize. We need to start with city council. If we're gonna streamline, if we're gonna save money, I think we start right here at home. But I do not want to take away the right from the residents to have the opportunity to vote for the majority members. That way they always have, the way this is structured now, every resident gets to vote for 3 at large and their ward person, which is 4, which is a majority. So whatever makeup the council ends up at, I still would like to keep that for the residents to be able to elect the majority members of council. They have access to, personally, I think the president should remain the president and be a voting vote for the president individual, but I think the president should vote. I think the president should have a vote rather than just be a parliamentarian. And just with that move alone, if we only made that adjustment, we could eliminate 1 at-large position and have the president vote, and that would be a minor tinkering, but it certainly would downsize by 1. I would like to see it downsize maybe more in the neighborhood of 2, which would maybe create some redistricting. I don't want to see the wards be broken up to where I think there should be wards, but maybe only 3 instead of 4. I just like to see some dialogue to create a balance that also leaves the control of the voting members in the hands of the residents. And if we can come up with that makeup, I would not only support it, I would introduce it. That would be the direction I would like to see, that the residents will maintain control of the majority. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I've always been against this all at large. This would create 6 at-large members, and for that exact reason, I've always felt that if you want to cut council, you need to cut 1 at large in 1 ward. And that would create the situation you're referring to, Mr. Salvatore. And that's it. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? So what I'm hearing is that I think the majority, I'm hearing a motion that we want to put this back into committee. So is there a second?
Do we have a first? I'll support it. Rick made the motion, and I second it.
There is a motion.
I believe so.
There was a,
Mr. Salvatore made the motion. to
supported
put
it
back in
already.
committee.
Okay.
No, I didn't make that motion.
Oh, sorry.
I did.
Sorry.
Rick Scott.
Mr. Scott made that motion.
Sorry.
Supported. All right, clerk, would you please call the roll?
Scott,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Powers, Troyer,
No.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
6-1. Motion carried.
Okay. Again, the second piece of legislation that I brought out was something that might not have followed proper protocol as far as being introduced. As far as usually not being introduced by one committee. So, Council, what's your pleasure with this one? Go ahead.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Madam Chairman. The Law Director like to speak on this?
Thank you, through the chair to Councilman Troyer. Thank you. The substance of this particular ordinance isn't the issue. The main issue that you have is, in fact, who introduced it, but even more concerning is the idea that the original of this piece of legislation no longer exists. It is not in the council office. When I saw that this was on the agenda tonight, what I did is I did a duplicate piece, which I brought with me. I've left the introduction blank. If anyone wishes, certainly I can turn that in if they're interested in the substance of the legislation. But it would be my hope, because the original legislation is non-existent, that perhaps council would consider retiring this piece, and if they desire to move forward with the substance of it, then I can certainly tender the duplicate piece. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So, read in committee is correct?
I believe so,
Okay.
yes.
I'd like to make a motion that this was read in committee.
Support.
All right, I heard a motion and it was supported. Any discussion? Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Troyer,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Mancini,
Yes.
Got one more.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, so the third one that I'm introducing was introduced back at our last meeting. It's an ordinance proposing for a contract between the Cuyahoga County General Health District and the City of Brook Park, and it was introduced by Mayor Coyne. I'd like it up to open it to discussion.
Chair?
Go ahead.
The only thing I don't see is under section 2, I don't see language that says where the payment will be made from what fund.
Thank you very much. Mr. Finance Director, could you please clarify that for us, please?
General fund.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
We need an amendment, a motion to
Oh,
amend.
yes, I need a motion for amendment, please,
For section 2.
for
to
section
add
2 to add
For
the
section 2.
funds
Yes.
coming from the general fund.
I'll support that.
Do you want to motion it?
Yes.
You got the
Yeah,
motion?
I make the motion.
Mancini has the motion. Anyone?
Support.
Thank you. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
And,
Mancini,
Sorry.
Yes. Right, under dis-
to the chair, to the finance director, do we have a number or just general fund?
It was
General fund 100.
100, okay,
okay.
which is the general fund. So the motion is to write general fund 100.
Okay. So we clarified the number, general fund 100.
Mancini,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Salvatore,
Before I vote today, could you tell me how the whereas is going to read?
On the amendment?
It would be, hold on. So couldn't you just say hereby authorized to deduct from the general fund 100 the sum of 79 blah, blah, blah?
Correct.
And equal semi-annual installments,
Then where are we gonna put that at?
Section 2.
section 2.
I don't know, we're at in section 2.
I would say deduct from, so after the word deduct, put the word from, the general fund 100, the said sum of, and then continue there.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Did everyone get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He stopped at Rick, he said yes.
Did you vote, Rick?
You voted
Voted
yes.
Okay. Oh, where am I? Mancini, Scafford, Troyer,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Okay, we're done. We're good.
Okay.
It passed. The amendment passed.
All right, the amendment passed. Yes, Councilman Salvatore.
Through the chair to the mayor. Mayor, is this time sensitive?
Yeah.
It has to be passed before the end of the year. So if we pass it at the next council meeting, we don't have to pass it tonight. It can be passed at the next council meeting, so we can post it and everything.
It's recommended that we pass by December 31st.
Madam Chairman.
Next council,
I'll make a motion to put
Thank-
on the next council.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through the chair to the finance director, is this about the same that it cost last year? What was the cost last year on this?
Through the chair to Councilman Troy, I'll have to look that up. It appears to be in line with last year's, or this year's cost.
Okay, thank you, that's it.
No, no.
Sorry.
Councilman
Madam
Mazzini?
Chairman?
Yes, I'll make a motion to put on the next council agenda.
Okay, we
Obviously not tonight, but
November 21st is the
November
next council.
21st.
Support.
Is that a caucus? What's that general?
21st? No, it's a council.
it's a council.
Okay.
All right, so we have the motion that we're going to put it on the next council meeting, supported.
21st.
Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mancini,
Yes.
Troyer,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bergio.
Yes.
Salvatore.
Yes.
Back to the
Back to
council
me.
president,
Okay, that
please.
concludes the items under Finance Committee. We have no other items on any committee, so we can move to adjournment. Council with a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Support.
Been a motion to adjourn, properly supported. Clerk, please call the roll on adjournment.
Mancini,
Yes.
Bergio,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Salvatore,
Yes.
Troyer,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Okay, this caucus meeting is adjourned at 7:19. We will convene the regular council meeting at 7:30. Thank you.